Hi, I'm Drew Norton, the Everyday Sales Leader, and this is your daily dose of sales inception. So, what we want to talk about today is the high cost of inaction and why change is so important for your clients or prospects. And also, go Irish. They're playing in the championship here in a couple days. My favorite football team. Hopefully, if you're not a Notre Dame fan, you'll continue supporting and watching the channel. And, anyways, I believe that salespeople, the reason our position exists, the reason you can make amazing money doing it, is because people hate making decisions. And if you can view that my job is just to do that, just to help people come to a yes or a no, and that either answer is okay. It's okay sometimes to get a no out of people and get a no like that. That might be a good thing, right? I think every salesperson hates chasing people down that aren't indecisive, right? Or afraid to tell you no, right? They say they're going to think about it, but they really have no intention of moving forward. So listen, there's a cost to not moving forward. And the better we can do at helping people see the future with your product or service, how it helps them achieve the goals, the dreams they have, or protects them, the easier I believe it gets to show them how if they stay where they're at currently, they're going to miss out on everything that they want. Right? And I really believe that selling is helping people get what they want. And the cost of inaction is they won't get what they want. They won't get what they want at the end of the day. Right? Now, sometimes they may not realize that they want our product or service. Sometimes we may have to challenge them and help them see how it could benefit them. And so if we can help people see their future and what that future looks like, whether they move forward or whether they don't, then it makes it a lot easier in the present moment to make a decision and to move forward. I have found people don't like to think about what happens if their pain continues on, or what happens if they don't get out of their present situation, or what happens if things don't go the way they hope they do. People don't like to think about that or talk about that. And often your success as a salesperson is going to come down to your willingness to ask uncomfortable questions and your willingness to get them to feel a little bit uncomfortable with where they're at, a little bit uncomfortable with staying the same, a little bit uncomfortable with not moving forward and putting themselves into a better situation. Listen, I think sometimes when we have a product or service that we believe in, we will look at it and it makes complete sense in our mind why somebody should do it. And it's really funny when someone sells a product or service and a big part of it is saving money and their clients don't move forward when, hey, these products do the exact same thing and mine's at a lower price. Why won't they move forward? And I think part of what we have to understand is although part of sales is making sure it makes sense up here, it's also making sure it feels good right here, right? And so if people don't see that by moving forward with your service, your solution, that's going to help them feel better, that's going to help them get what they want, why change just for this? Why change just because it makes sense? Sometimes the whole idea of changing is scarier than staying the same because they're going to interrupt things, because it's not convenient. It's not convenient to switch to a different service provider, right? It's not convenient to do that. It's not convenient to purchase something and have to have it installed and have to change your schedule in your life to make sure something works for you. Look, it's not convenient sometimes to write a big check to work with you when they know it can help them. And, maybe I'll figure it out on my own, right? And so if you're not helping people see that by staying the same and not moving forward, that it's costing them way more than they can maybe realize, you lose and miss out on so many sales opportunities. And I don't care what industry you're in, what service you sell, what you do, you have to be able to identify what your product will do for them and what it's going to cost them not to move forward. Look, people are often more motivated to avoid a loss than they are to gain something. And that's just so fascinating, the psychology behind that. Often I'm more motivated to not lose $5 than I am to go out and make $100. Isn't that crazy? And it's just interesting that that's how we're wired as humans. And as we can understand that, it's like we can help people move forward if we can help them see the power of the vision of what your product or service offers and contrast that to what it costs them, what they have to lose if they stay where they're at. There's a book by, his last name's Keenan. I think it's called Gap Selling. He talks a lot about how their current state and their future state and helping them see this big gap in between the two and making sure that gap is as wide as possible. And the more you can help people see they have a huge gap from where they are now and where they want to go, and your solution's the quickest way to cross that gap, the easier it gets to sell. At the same time, if they don't think there's much of a difference between where they're at and what your product or service is going to do, why buy? Why go through the inconvenience? Why go through the hassle, right? And look, what's interesting also, I remember one of the first lessons I had in just understanding that price isn't as motivating sometimes as we think. I was selling a competitive product or service. The guy was going to move forward and save $40 a month. That's $480 a year at that time. That was a lot of money to me. And there were some things he didn't share with me or tell me about till it was time to wrap up his paperwork and application. And his price changed, and it went from a $40 a month savings to a $20 a month savings. And his comment was, $20 a month is all I'm going to save. That's just a drop in the bucket. Which to me, like looking back, it's kind of funny because the $20 to $40, there wasn't much of a difference in the price. What I failed to do at that time, though, was show him by staying with where he was at what he had to lose and what he had to lose outside of $240 a year, or all that he would gain by working with me and my team in my office. And I think he would have had a way better experience working with us than he would have with his current provider. And so the challenge I would give to you today, if you're listening to this, is think about your sales process and think about how can I help people see the cost of inaction, why change is urgent for them. And one other thing I will say, sometimes I think the reason change should be urgent for people and what you can really help people do in making decisions is I've often seen that those that make quick decisions and can act and move swiftly, I'm not saying they just sign up and that they're sold on anything, but just come to a yes or no quickly, often are way more successful than those that can't ever make a decision. So I think if you can help people make decisions and draw conclusions faster, it helps them in other areas of their life and helps them succeed way more. Because look, there are so many things in life that dragging your feet to make a decision will just hurt you at the end of the day. And so my philosophy is you decide, and either you learn from it or you end up winning. And so have that attitude as you help your prospects out that, hey, I'm going to help them make a decision and I'm okay with a no. And I want them to see if they don't move forward, I want to make sure they understand what the costs are for them. Once again, I'm Drew Norton, the Everyday Sales Leader. invite you to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for the next dose of daily sales inception. And go Irish.